88.7 FM.
For the best of national, local, international news and sport, tune in to News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM. News Punch, all about the news.
It's 1 minute gone past 9 a.m. Good morning and thank you for joining us on today's edition of News Punch on Diamond 88.7 FM Ilori, where we bring you the trending stories across the globe. I am Tobi, Adebisi, and here are the stories making waves across the world this morning. In Nigeria, the House of Representatives has finally passed the 2023 appropriation bill, raising the total estimate from the proposed 20.51 trillion naira to 21.8 trillion naira. Passage of the federal government's budget followed the consideration and adoption of the report by the House Committee on Appropriations on the bill at the plenary on Wednesday. The House had earlier on Wednesday passed the 2022 Finance Bill, 2022 Supplementary Appropriation Bill and Appropriation Act 2022, which extended implementation of the capital expenditure component of this year's budget to March 31, 2023. Meanwhile, the Senate has also approved the request of the President Muhammadu Buhari's request for an 819.54 billion naira supplementary budget meant to fix infrastructure destroyed by floods across the country. Buhari had, through an executive communication last week, sought the approval of the National Assembly for a supplementary budget. Buhari, in the letter read by the President of the Senate, Ahmed Lawan, said the supplementary appropriation request was meant for the capital expenditure component of the 2022 budget. Still in the news, the former managing director of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, Dr. Usman Mohammed, yesterday identified a lack of investment and managerial capacity as problems crippling the Nigerian power sector. According to him, based on the level of decay, the next president of Nigeria must personally champion the power sector reforms from day one to achieve progress, adding that most political parties need a more profound understanding of the problem facing Nigeria's power industry. Mohammed faulted the claim by some political parties to increase Nigeria's power capacity from 4,000 megawatts to 25,000 megawatts in 4 years, stating that it is not possible to achieve such a feat. On the foreign scene, North Korea leader Kim Jong-un has unveiled the new goals for his country's military on the second day of a key meeting of the ruling Workers' Party, which hint at another year of intensive weapons tests and regional tension. According to reports on day 2 of the meeting on Wednesday, Kim revealed the newly created challenging situation on the Korean Peninsula and the broader political landscapes. Kim also set the direction for the anti-enemy struggle and goals for reinforcing self-defense in 2023. That's all we have for you on this edition of News Punch. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we'll bring you the analysis of the stories. To stay with us.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, they want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can a government, how can you hold Indomine? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show. amplifying the voice of the people.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Ilorin, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
You're welcome back to the Diamond Breakfast Show, a production of the News and Current Affairs Department. And on the program today, we shall be having the analysis of some of the major stories whose news we've read to you. I am Tobi Adebisi, and to do this with me in the studio this morning is Dr. Adebisi, a public affairs analyst and director, general studies, Kwara State College of Education, Ilorin. Good morning, sir.
Tobi, good morning.
And it's nice to have you in the house.
Thank you. How is the day?
Fine.
Good morning, Nigerians and listeners all over the world. Good morning to you all.
Compliments of the season to you. And I see that you are not even feeling the Hamilton at all.
Not at all.
All right, let's move on to the analysis of the stories before us this morning. Our first topic is looking into the effect of ASU and federal government all the drama over promise of salary arrest payments and no work no pay policy on our educational system. So President Muhammadu Buhari said the federal government has included 470 billion naira in the 2023 budget for revitalization and salary enhancements in the tertiary institutions, while ASU said it is not enough. Also, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Chris Ngige, said on Monday that the Presidential Committee on Salaries is already doing a review and is expected to come up with salary adjustments in the year. He described the year 2022 as a year of industrial dispute, adding that the issue of no work, no pay policy invoked by the government during the strike period is in court for proper interpretation of the Trade Dispute Act. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives yesterday responded to the allegation by the president of the Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, Professor Emmanuel Oshodeke, that the Speaker of the House, Femi Gbajabiamila, deceived the union to call off the strike. Well, the spokesperson of the House, Ben Kalu, in a statement said no point did the Speaker of the House of Representatives commit to offset the arrears of salaries owed to union members for the time they were on strike. The statement accused the ASU president of a bad faith approach to negotiations, adding that his affinity for political brinkmanship are significant reasons the universities were on strike for so long. Now, with this type of responses coming from the ASU president and also coming from the president of Nigeria, and also coming from the Speaker for the House of Representatives, Ben Kalu, accusing the ASU president of a bad faith approach to negotiations, do you see this system improving soon? Because every Nigerian is expecting that at least at some point there should be some improvement.
Thank you, Tobi. The issue on grant is unfortunate that we are getting it modeled up such a way that right from time, it is the right of ASU to make protest. And protest in Nigeria is one of the languages that I think the workers used to get across to the government to actually listen to them. So by ASU coming on strike in the first instance to make their demand, there's nothing that is wrong in it. It's one of the channels of communication. But the government stance with the ASU on this matter is also not good enough, because the issue of education, even the UNESCO standard, we have not even met it. 26% of our budget every year for education. No, not at all. Even I don't think we have even gone 5% every year. So talk less of meeting 26%. So if ASU is now talking that we don't want the universal education system to go down the way look at their primary education system now has gone to a bad level that we have only the private sectors handling primary education, and that is the basis and that is the root. And if the way we are handling the university education, the way the why ASU is now pressurizing is that revitalization and revitalization fund of the university system will make the education of the university education to be more standard, so that we have a more standard education. But the way that the government is not reacting to the issue is not the way it has to go. And I don't blame ASU for taking it too long to that level.
Now, let's,
if not because the government is not listening to them.
In a dispute where two people, they are constantly exchanging words, ASU says this, the House comes to say this, the President comes to say this. Now, in this light, the speaker of the House has come, the representative of the House has come to say that, has come to accuse ASU's president of having bad faith to negotiations, and saying that his affinity for political brinkmanship are significant to reasons why the universities were on strike. What do you see to that kind of response to what is on ground?
You see, in the first instance, ASU need to appreciate the House in the first instance for their intervention. We have the two houses, the Senate and the House of Rep. The Senate was aloof in this matter, and that is not the way I understand it. Look at it this way: the intervention of House of Representatives by Bajami Abila, I felt in my own case that he did it in the interest of the APC candidate in the first instance. And while Senate did not even intervene, I feel it because the Senate President was a candidate in the race for primary in the issue of presidential race. And therefore, in contention with Asiwaju, with Ahmed Lawa feel is not concerned if APC is coming on board. But Bajami Amila now feel that if APC should come on board as the next party in the next general election, and the thing is going this way, he needs to intervene. I feel in my own, that's my own feeling.
Feel so?
Yes, on behalf of his principal, to intervene so that APC can have a good landing in the election. And that was why he intervened in his first instance. And ASU should now see that if not for his intervention, the strike might not have ended that time. But besides that, Industrial Court has also given a ruling that ASU should go back to work. Now, with the intervention of Bajabia Amila, it was ASU should see it in good light because for his intervention. But Bajabia Amila could not penetrate the presidency after the intervention to make sure that the salary that was withheld is paid to them. So Bajabia Amila too did, but according to the spokesman for Bajabia Amila, he said there was nothing in writing to the fact that Bajabia Amila will have to influence the payment of that 8-month salary. But he felt he could influence the presidency to pay back that after the intervention. But that could not happen. So that should not now mean that ASU should now see Bajabia Amila's intervention in bad faith.
In bad light. Yeah.
So in bad light. So I feel he should appreciate what he has done. But what actually happened now is that Bajabia Amila and the Rep and the House should please, use their own power to intervene on the presidency to pay back this. But I want to agree. I want to ask you to believe that if that salary is not paid now, they will collect it, even when the next after the presidential election, the next coming government will have to pay that salary.
All right, thank you so much.
So I feel it's just a keeping money for them.
All right.
So they should just exercise patience.
I still have a question, but then let's go on a short commercial break and we'll be right back. If you're just joining us, it's still the Diamond Breakfast Show on Diamond 88.7 FM. And in the meantime, you can send in your messages to 080-299-26951. For text messages only, 080-299-26951. And when we get back at the right time, we'll get to take your messages and your call. Stay with us.
You're listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Your dreams of owning a home in an organized, well laid out, secured environment with 24-hour stable electricity and portable drinking water is within your reach. Grab this once in a lifetime opportunity as Las Vegas Imperial Estate offers for sale 50 plots of land measuring 450 square meters per plot at 8 million naira. That is a massive 2 million naira off the normal rate of 10 million naira per plot. This end of the year promo lasts from November 10, 2022 to January 31st, 2023. Payments can be made in installments within these 3 months, while outright payments attract a 5% discount. Las Vegas Imperial Estate is located right behind Kwara State House of Assembly complex, overlooking the Asta Dam water. For inquiries, contact 0806-286-5734 or 0803-046-1993. Las Vegas Imperial Estate, luxury and comfort.
ọ̀kàrẹ̀láyé jagunlabi débẹ̀ kò fáwọn ajẹ́bí idán Bradfight M ẹ̀kú ọkọ̀ kùdìẹ̀kudiẹ tó bẹ̀ lágọ̀ọ́ ara ó wà fáwọn ìkókó àtàwọn tọ́jọ́ orí wọn ò ju ọmọ ọdún 2 sí 12 lọ èrò rí iṣẹ́ ọpọlọ tó lákàkì ní vitamin 7 ló sodo sínú ẹ̀ Bradfight M iléeṣẹ́ biomedical ló ń ṣe é béèrè fún Bradfight M jákèjádò orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà.
You're listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Alrighty, welcome back, and it's still the Diamond Breakfast Show on Diamond 88.7 FM. Before we went on the break, we started talking about the brouhaha between ASU and federal government and how it affects the educational sector, especially the tertiary educational sector in the nation. But then before, the president said that a budget of 470 billion has been included in the 2023 budget for revitalization and salary enhancements in the tertiary institutions. While ASU said it is not enough. Now, ASU saying it is not enough is not where I'm going. The president said that this amount of money has been stipulated for revitalization and salary enhancement. There is no mention as to whether the areas that these people are clamoring for is going to be paid. And also let us not forget that whatever these people are asking for was in the budget for 2022. So the belief is that since they were, like that, they were on strike and you guys didn't pay them, the money should be somewhere resting. Yeah. So now that they are demanding for it, you should be able to pay them. What would you say about that?
Yeah, as to that, what your observation is right. If that money is not spent, according to the budget planning, they have to return it back. And that's why, before we went on break, I said it's like they are keeping money in safe for ASU people. Whether they like it or not, the court is already on the verge of interpreting that section where the government is taking their own stand. That section 43(1)(a) of Trade Dispute Act, where the government is standing on the issue of no work, no pay. So by the time the interpretation is gotten in the court and finally it was declared in favor of ASU, they will collect their money. So it's just a matter of keeping the money for them. But I want to say that what the government is doing, and even by saying, and what ASU is saying, that the money budgeted for is not enough. But we will have to appreciate Adebisi this time again. It was his intervention that made that inclusion in the budget. That was part of his intervention to have made that inclusion. But look at the statistics we are having. If not, that is the clamoring of ASU all this while. Between 1999 and October 2022, we have had 16. ASU had gone on strike 16 times. And with that, out of only University of Ibadan and Unilag make the top 600 in the Times Higher Education Global University Ranking 2022. Only UI made the top 600 in the world.
Only not UI. Even the private universities that are not going on strike.
Yes, only UI. And only one, that is UI, made the top 10 in Africa. And not only that, that is, we are even making the top 10, we are in the 4th position in Africa. And only University of Ibadan and UI made they are the 2nd African top 20 in the US News and World Report Best Global University Ranking. So this is not good for Nigeria. This rating is not good for us at all. So and that's all the clamoring is that government should do the needful and fund education the way it should be funded, and not taking the other side, looking at it. So I want to appeal, I'm using this medium also to appeal to federal government. Before they leave, they should make sure that they pay back these 8 months arrears, so that they will work with full confidence and go back to classes with good heart. So I'm appealing. I'm using this medium to appeal. Diamond is also appealing that federal government should listen to us and pay them their withheld arrears.
All right, I take that as your okay. What would you suggest in about 1 minute? Let's do this in about 1 minute. What would you say that the federal government and ASU should do to put an end to this and just move our university education forward?
Yeah, what they need to do is that one, the budgeting, the funding of education should be made paramount by the federal government, and make sure that they should strive to meet the UNESCO standard. 26%, going 5% every year is not the best. And now, under the university education system, the money injected in the budget for the funding of university education should be increased. And then, as to whatever is given to them, they should have to exercise patience with the federal government and make sure that the demand is gradual, so that by the time we are being patient with each other, we are going to get to the promised land.
All right, thank you so much. Let's move on to the second topic on the show, which will look into the security statement on the 2023 elections by President Muhammadu Buhari. It's nothing new anymore to say that the president is committed to, giving Nigerians a free and fair and credible elections come 2023. I mean, he has said that about 2 to 3 times. So we have to take him at his words. If we can't still do that at this point, barely 8 weeks into the 2023 presidential elections, President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday in Abuja warned security agencies to eschew behaviors that could compromise the democratic process. He said those involved in handling sensitive election materials must uphold a high sense of professionalism in discharging their duties. The president urged the agencies to handle the distribution and monitoring of classified materials and other logistics professionally and in accordance with standing operation procedures. Now, President Buhari has been reaffirming his commitment to leave behind a legacy of free and fair elections as a sign of sustaining our democracy, like I said earlier. But INEC recently said it will not conduct elections in the areas that are facing security challenges. That amounts to disenfranchising a particular, percentage of the country. Some Nigerians are of the opinion that President Buhari needs to walk the talk of conducting a violence-free general election in 2023. He has to make this happen. Do you think he will work this out? Do you think he will work his talk?
Actually, his call is timely, and is a welcome development that he is making that call. But making that call is not enough than to work towards that call. You can see now the feelings we are having now. The attack on INEC facilities that has been persistent these days is a kind of a bad omen to what is going to happen during the election time. Now, if INEC facilities have been attacked now, presently, and what about those who will now be taking the election materials to their different polling units? Won't they be attacked? So what we want to now say is that giving a call to the security men is not enough. What we want them to do is to make sure that the security men are properly funded before the election time. They should be given the right working tools. It's not enough to say go and protect election materials where somebody is coming with AK-47 and you are going with just ordinary this thing, rifle. So you will not be able to, you have to run for your dear life. So if we know that there are areas that maybe there are black spots, we have to identify those areas in earnest. And when you identify those areas, prepare the security adequately for those areas so that they will be well protected and they will know that they are going for national assignment and their own welfare is also taken care of. But where somebody is going, his welfare is not taken care of. If anything happens to him, that is just the end of him. That becomes his own problem and that of his family. So we want to say that one, they should be like those are the top rank of the top echelons of the military rank. In most cases they are given fund, but this fund doesn't go down to those who are going to go to the field. So this should be checked, so that those who are going to the field, if it is money for food, give them money. If it's proper transportation, give them, so that they will not be looking to the politicians. But somebody is on the field, is now feeling hungry. He's not even giving money to go for electoral prize, and then somebody is now saying, "Okay."
Let's speak more to the security challenge, security challenges.
Yeah.
INEC has said that it will not conduct elections in the areas that are facing security challenges.
Those areas that are having security challenges, the election can be conducted if we prepare. Look at 2015, 2019, when Buhari says that snatch ballot box and snatch ballot box and die. Do you see anything happening? If those kind of order is given that anybody want to disrupt this election, there is a kind of a direct order to these boys to handle them. Nobody will do that. So those areas, if we prepare adequately well and we fund and we harm those our security outfit, they will be able to man those areas and nothing will happen. We have witnessed it. When that order is given, nobody dare it. But it's because we are not prepared. That's why we are saying that. So those areas, they will be disenfranchised, and it's not good. So, but we need to prepare. How can you say those who are not the area boys will now be given control, and then we have to subjecting ourselves with all the military, all the security apparatus that we have? But in all case, if they are not prepared, I want to also agree that if adequate preparation is not there, they should not conduct election there. But if we are really ready to conduct, we can do it. That is my own take. So, but if we want to do it, let's prepare adequately. But if you don't want, if you know we are not prepared to handle and protect those who will be going there, then we should leave the election in that area. So that's my own take on that.
All right, thank you so much. To join in on the show, send your messages to 080-299-269-451. Once again, 080-299-269-451. That's the number to send in your text messages to. And in due time, we get to take your messages and your calls. And we've been discussing, the first topic we looked at on the show is the topic about the problem between ASU and the federal government. The statement that the representative of the House of Representatives made to the House President. And then now we're looking at the 2023 elections. What are the possibilities that election can actually hold in areas that have serious security challenges? Because as has said now, INEC, I beg your pardon, has said that they may not conduct election, or they will not conduct elections in these areas. My guest was saying that we should prepare. If we know that our army is prepared, then we can't go ahead. But let us also not forget that the army, as we say, they are up to the task, they are doing this and they are doing that, and the much that has happened has happened. But then the conversation still continues. Yeah. Let's go on a short break and we will be right back.
You're listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Kára ó lè pé mà, ara ríro kò sí mọ́, àwọn ká ti sá lọ àrùnmọ́lẹ́gùn ẹ̀yìn dídùn làkúrẹ́ ìgbé wọ́n ti lọ wá bí wọ́n sí kára o lè pé bàmù rẹ̀ àtòrà dáadáa.
kòkó lára ọ̀tá le. gbéra ńlẹ̀ kó dìde. kára o lè pè ń bà. àtòrà wọ̀ àtòrà pẹ̀sẹ̀ àtòrà dáadáa. kegun tó kegun náà. kára o yá gágá. ara ń ronú tẹ́lẹ̀ kò ronú mọ́. tẹ̀bá ti fi kára o lè pè ń bà rà. lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọnú igun. tó sì ń ṣe àtúntò rẹ̀. òṣùbù yẹ̀kẹ́ fa párọ̀ tàbí fi ẹsẹ̀ dá. fi kára o lè pè ń bà bọ̀. káì ara rẹ̀ ó lè padà yakinlala. action action. ó jẹ́ àwọ̀ká àròmọ̀lẹ́gun làkúègbé ara ríro tàbí ẹ̀yìn dídùn. kára o lè pè ń bà lọ́kọ̀ gbogbo wọn. agbára pọ̀ kára ó lè pè ń bá. tuyi pharmaceutical industries limited. àwọn tó lórúkọ tó ṣe é gbẹ́kẹ̀lé níbi ká po oògùn òyìnbó ló ṣe é. kára ó lè pè ń bá. ẹ̀rọ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ pín ìrèpàtú òpèrè ta pàtà pọ́npọ́n. kára ó lè pè ń bá. ó kì í síbẹ̀.
kára o lè pé bàmù rẹ̀ àtòrà dáadáa.
ètò ìdìbò ọdún 2023 ti wọlé wẹ́rẹ́ o. ẹ̀yin obìnrin káàdì ìdìbò yín dà. àkókò tó fún wa láti túyáyá jáde ká sì dìbò fún ẹni tá a rí i pé ó kún ojú òṣùwọ̀n yálà obìnrin tàbí ọkùnrin tó lè ṣe é kí orílẹ̀-èdè wa tún dára lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. ẹ̀yin obìnrin nàìjà tó dára àkókò nìyí kí gbogbo wa parapọ̀ ká sì mú kí ìbò wa gbéwọ̀n nínú ètò ìdìbò tó ń bọ̀ lọ́dún 2023. ẹ máa gbọ́ ètò obìnrin nàìjà tó dára ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Monday tó gbẹ̀yìn nínú oṣù lórí ìkànnì rédíò yìí. obìnrin nàìjà tó dára jẹ́ àgbékalẹ̀ Women Radio pẹ̀lú ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ UN Women àti ìjọba ilẹ̀ Canada.
One man knows Nigeria, understands the people, and knows how to get Nigeria back on the road to growth. His capacity to navigate numerous industries towards growth and expansion is tested and trusted. No one needs to show Atiku Abubakar how to move Nigeria forward through challenges and onto greatness. He already has a sure plan, a strategist in entrepreneur and job creator. Atiku Abubakar knows Nigeria, knows our people, and knows the world. Atiku for sure.
PDP! Power to the people!
Sponsored by the Atiku Okowa Organizing for Action.
àjọ̀dún oníkádùn ìlú òmùaran tún dé o òmùaran festival 2022.
òmùaran ní ìlú mi o gbogbo ọmọ òmùaran ẹ wálé ẹ jẹ́ kájọ ṣe kájọ gbèlú bàbá wa lárugẹ.
ká ṣe ìgbélárugẹ àṣà àti ìṣẹ̀ṣe ìlú bàbá ẹni ló ń sọ nínú ojúlówó ọmọ ìlú òmùaran development association ODA ló ń ké sí gbogbo ọmọ ìlú òmùaran ní tìlé toko àti gbogbo èèyàn pátápátá síbi òmùaran festival 2022 Friday 30 December 2022 ni yóò gbéra sọ pẹ̀lú bọ́ọ̀lù apanilẹ́rìn novelty match àti àsànà tó bá di ọjọ́ Saturday 31 December 2022 ògangan ni ayẹyẹ yóò wáyé láago 10 òwúrọ̀ ní Gombe secondary school òmùaran lábẹ́ alága ọjọ́ náà Alhaji Ganiyu Ọláyínká Oyèdèpò tí gbogbo èèyàn mọ̀ sí Koko Zaria olóyè Solomon Adémọ́lá Adébóyè onígẹmọ tìlú òmùaran àwọn alága obìnrin Mrs Kemi Ọládùn ní Fájánà JP aláṣẹ àti olùdarí Twins Fájánà Nigeria Limited tó wà ní Kọ̀túnlẹ̀kọ̀ àti alájà Dr Mariam Bọ́láńlé Yusuf Kamwaya special guest of honour the executive governor of Kwara State His Excellency Abdulrahman Abdulrazak Father of the Day Bishop David Oyedepo Chancellor Covenant and Landmark University Chief Host Comrade Dide Onyiloye TIC Chairman Irekwadu Local Government Kwara State Royal Father of the Day His Royal Majesty Ọba Abdulrahim Ọládélé Adéòtí olóhùn ẹ̀fọ̀n kejì olóhùn tìlú Òmùaran ẹ̀já wálé kájọgbé àṣà àti ìlú bàbá wa ga Dr Oyèbọ̀dé Ali Dúrótoyè Chairman Planning Committee Retired Major General Ọláyẹmí Abidoye National President ODA fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ẹ pè sórí 08034359536 Òmùaran Festival 2022 ó máa láò gan.
You're listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Alrighty, welcome back, and it's still the Diamond Breakfast Show on Diamond 88.7 FM. My name is Tobi Adebisi, and it's so nice to do this with you this morning. All right, let's move on in the discourse about the INEC, the elections in 2023. Well, let me give a fast recap for those who are just joining. Barely 8 weeks to the 2023 presidential elections, President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday warned security agencies to eschew behaviors that could compromise the democratic process. Meanwhile, the INEC has said that they will not conduct election in places where there are serious security challenges. Now, what is your take on the statement by INEC not to conduct elections in polling units where the security challenge is glaring? What is your take on that? Do you think that INEC actually has the right to withhold that kind of power from the people that live there?
I've said it earlier that INEC as a body has the responsibility to protect the lives of those who work with them. And where they see that there's not going to be enough security for the lives of those who are going to work in a particular area, I think INEC has the right to recommend to the government that those areas should be left aside. So what I want to just say is that by now, I believe there should be a kind of synergy between all the security outfits that we have in Nigeria, both the DSS, the army, the civil defense, the police, and all other paramilitaries too. They should work together by now. Because one thing we know is that we don't have enough security personnel to police the number of population that we have. That one is basic. And you know, if you want to make a kind of comparison, that election was held in Ekiti, election was held in Osun, that was just a section of Nigeria. But this time around, we are talking of the entire nation, covering almost about out of 36, covering almost about 20-something states, leaving out those states that have already conducted their own. So given the number of security personnel that we have and the population, it is not enough to have enough number of personnel to police or to monitor all those polling units. Let's be factual with ourselves. So if that is the case, INEC has the responsibility to protect the lives of those who work with them. And if they cannot, and they are sure that those areas are black spots and there's nothing on ground to protect the lives of those who work there, I think INEC can recommend to the federal government that those areas should be left aside. It's not that if the election did not hold there, that does not mean that it will not hold permanently. After the general election, they will now concentrate the security personnel to those areas that are regarded as black spot. They will now reconduct election in those areas. So that will give enough personnel to monitor those areas. So that is the kind of arrangement there. So if we now leave some areas out, after the general election, we can now single those areas out and then police it properly and then conduct the election there. So that in that kind of method, we'll be able to monitor those areas.
Well, for a nation like Nigeria, I believe that we should also start considering alternatives that in case things like this happen, people should still be able to exercise their civic rights. So what are some alternatives, or what is an alternative that we can consider? And if election is to hold in places like this, what can the citizens do to, just make sure that these people are not disenfranchised?
The alternative is to have e-voting. If we are already embarking on e-voting system, that will not allow. I mean, it will just give you an app will be given to you within your one of your bedroom using your phone, and then you can just pick the candidate, calculate, and then pick the candidate of your choice, cast your vote, and then it will reflect on the INEC database. So if you are doing that, nobody needs to go out. But we have not advanced to that level. So if we embark on e-voting, that will solve all those kind of problems. But that one also has its own problem. That's problem of manipulation, which people are now fearing.
Of course.
But that can solve the problem of those areas that we are regarded as a black spot that will not be able to go. So that is one alternative. Another alternative is the one I've suggested, that after the election, we single out those areas that have problem and then concentrate the number of personnel to that area, and then we conduct the election. So that also will make sure that those people are not disenfranchised.
All right, thank you so much. It has been a great show with you, actually. All right, you can send in your messages and send in your text messages to 080-299-26951. And please, when you send your messages, ensure that you include your name, and please, when you send your messages, let it be related to what we're talking about, because I'm seeing some messages here and they are not in any way related to what we have. I have this one and it says that voting application is going to be a saving grace for INEC. Online voting is optional for voters to use and pay for it. It would save lives and resources. It is possible. Kolade S. Ainde. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Comrade John Okolo, speaking from Odusa.
All right, thank you so much, Comrade John.
I have my regards for the analysts in the studio.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. God bless you for your good comments.
Thank you.
Some time ago, this issue was raised in this radio station, and I contributed to the debate that day. And I said that day that the burning of INEC offices is the handiwork of the ruling party now. And the same that's where I said yes, I will swear. Yes, because it is a part of rigging election. They want to weaken those areas where other parties have power, are strong. It is a fact that everybody should look into and see that I'm right.
If it is a fact, it means that you have a document to back up what you're saying.
If you look, you document that. There are how many people in the National Assembly have certificates? They have documents but not certificates. So forget about that.
No, I can't forget about it. If you cannot back up what you are saying.
Excuse me, not up to 10% of the people in that assembly have the genuine certificates. They have documents but not certificates. I can attest to that.
But when you make claims on the radio like this, you must be able to back up what you are saying. That is what I'm trying to say. When you come on radio and you talk like this, come on radio to talk about things that you can back up. You're talking about people in the assembly not having certificates. Do you have facts to back up what you're talking about? Let us be guided and educated, please. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from? Thanks.
Yeah, I greet your analyst in the studio.
Thank you, sir.
I want to quickly talk about Diamomd and what ASU president said. For me, Diamomd and this administration, they are in the same party. And people should stop saying it as if Diamomd has the interest of ASU at heart. No, he's just doing that for his party. Don't forget he's a party man. And he's doing that just to, it's more like a deception or shenanigans, just to make the ASU call off the strike, and they'll be able to achieve that now. Then his spokesperson, Kalu, is now saying something else. Let's call a spade a spade. If you intervene and your intervention does not yield results, then who are we to blame? Should we blame ASU back? Who has listened to you and they've honored you? ASU should wake up next time. They should not honor anybody from the same party who is telling you because he's in one position. No, that is wrong. So the government should know that they are holding ASU, no matter how long it will be. This government is on record that they owe ASU, and any government that is coming on board will pay that money. Then concerning INEC should know that they can only conduct election where there is security, because they cannot go and conduct election where there is no security. For example, now the INEC themselves, they are human beings. People that will also vote, they are also human beings. So nobody will want life to lose because of elections. So that is it. And federal government, Mr. President saying they should be professional. Mr. President too should be professional as our president, by making sure he also works his talk. Because over almost 8 years now, he has not really been working his talk. He will just say it and it will just go like that. So that's the way it is. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Let's go on a short commercial break and we'll be right back. It's still the Diamond Breakfast Show. But when we get back, we'll take a very quick look at our last topic, which is into the request to extend the dates for implementation of the 2022 budget. Stay with us on the show. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Ètò ìdìbò ọdún 2023 ti wọlé wẹ́rẹ́ o. Ẹ̀yin obìnrin, káàdì ìdìbò yín dà. Àkókò tó fún wa láti túyáyá jáde ká sì dìbò fún ẹni tá a rí i pé ó kún ojú òṣùwọ̀n. Yálà obìnrin tàbí ọkùnrin tó lè ṣe é kí orílẹ̀-èdè wa tún dára lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. ẹ̀yin obìnrin Naija tó dára àkókò nìyí kí gbogbo wa parapọ̀ ká sì mú kí ìbò wa gbéwọ̀n nínú ètò ìdìbò tó ń bọ̀ lọ́dún 2023. Ẹ máa gbọ́ ètò obìnrin Naija tó dára ní gbogbo ọjọ́ Monday tó gbẹ̀yìn nínú oṣù lórí ìkànnì rédíò yìí. Obìnrin Naija tó dára jẹ́ àgbékalẹ̀ Women Radio pẹ̀lú ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ UN Women àti ìjọba ilẹ̀ Canada.
You're listening to Diamond 88.7 FM, shining supreme.
Shine bright like a diamond.
All right, welcome back. And very quickly, let's go to the last part of the show and the last topic of the show. Our last topic will look into the request to extend the date for the implementation of the 2022 budget. So President Muhammadu Buhari has written to the National Assembly to extend the date for the implementation of the 2022 budget to March 21, 2022. The letter was read at the plenary by the Senate President Ahmed Lawan and the Speaker of the House of Reps, Femi Gbajabiamila, on Wednesday. The National Assembly had passed a revised budget of 17.31 trillion naira for the fiscal year 2022 following Buhari's earlier request to make adjustments to the 2022 budget, citing the impacts of the Russia-Ukraine war on the country's economy. A week ago, Buhari wrote the National Assembly to approve a supplementary budget of 819 billion naira as a result of the impact of the flood on the roads across the country. So the president gave reasons that the proposed 2022 appropriation supplementary budget submitted to the National Assembly for consideration, as well as recent 2022 capital releases to MDAs, are likely to be utilized before December 31st, 2022, due to the late release of the funds, which will lapse if the capital implementation is not extended beyond December 2022. This type of request is proposing to alter the part of the act that gave the Appropriation Act a 12-month lifeline of January 1, 2022 to December 31, 2022. Now, some Nigerians are of the opinion that this move by the president is better than diverting the public funds meant for the budget implementations for personal use. What would you say to this?
What the president has done is in line with the Constitution. You know, the Constitution has been amended that our budget has to be between January to 31st December. And since he has the reason now to extend because of those reasons given, because of the flood, and you know it affected only 3 ministries. That's Ministry of Works, Ministry of Agri, and one other ministry. So what he has done is in line with the Constitution. But to me, I see it as a kind of another, because the extension, the request he made to the House is another borrowing, which is now the president is requesting for 819 billion.
Yeah.
So this is another it will add again to the kind of burden that we have already on the ground. So why don't he just leave it now for the new budget, so that by the time we start implementing the new year budget, all those things that he's trying to give a kind of supplementary budget for now will be added into the new budget, and then we start implementing it gradually before the next rainy season.
And maybe
that would have been better than to go and borrow again. To say we want to have a supplementary budget to fund that kind of project. So to me, it's another way of siphoning money between the remaining period for them to exit. So because I don't see any reason why, because you say because of the flood and this and that. Already we have the new budget supposed to start January, and if it's starting January, those things should be passed into that new budget, and then you start implementing from January, and then before the rainy season we will get it done, rather than to have another supplementary budget to cover that, and then you extend it to March.
Right.
And by the time of that March, they'll be beginning to pack out, and that will now go with them. Not coming with the coming administration. So I don't buy the idea. Already we are the loan now. We are already in $40.06 trillion. That's our standard borrowing. And if we have to fund this one from the domestic borrowing too, that will increase the domestic borrowing to $10.32 trillion. So that is too much.
Wow.
And we are
well, let's get more messages and calls from our listeners. The Buhari administration, through the confused ministers of labor and education, mismanaged the ASU crisis. The speaker came in to save the face of the APC cause that event alone is big enough to send them away. From Sahid Kadri. Now, Sahid Kadri came back to say, even the blind can see that the dream of conducting a free and fair election in 2023 is a tall one. INEC offices are at the mercy of arsonists. Trigger-happy policemen will be deployed on election day. Politicians are lubricating their rigging machines, etc. We must desire true democracy to get it right. From Sahid Kadri alone. I also have this text message and it says, "Good morning, House. I don't think ASU is right to accuse the speaker because it was court injunction that made them to resume. Look, we cannot give 25% to university. How much is our total income? And what happened to our infrastructures?" Isa Mohammed. Let's see. 09136556952. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, my brother. Good morning, my sister.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Umisola is calling from Ilorin West.
All right. Okay.
You know, I wonder how we justify the system. You know, all the sectors in Nigeria, they are managing themselves. Kwara State in particular, they are still struggling to pay 80,000 minimum wage, not to convert 30,000 minimum wage. And we think one sector is superior to other. It's not done. If you are demanding 100% and 67% are demand, carry on. No sector is all right in Nigeria. All are managing themselves, including you that you are talking in the media. If it is what is God is giving to you, it is not. But we don't even want to know where the revenue is being made, how it's being made, and what we are talking about is expectation. Not the money is on the ground. It's expectation. But no sector should hold any sector, any Nigerian into ransom because you are sector. What of primary school, secondary school? Don't like that. And thank you for copying the man that if you want to talk about anything, after the evidence, the government they are the one that is disturbing all these things. It's very, very unfortunate for the issue of Nigeria. We base our news on rumors and we like it like that, no matter the level of education that we have. It's not dumb. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much for joining us. 09136556952, that's the number to call. Let's get a final call and then we call it a day on the show. Hello, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Kola Alasuki from Diamomd.
All right, very briefly, please.
No. One, the issue of ASU, the ASU. Without education, no nation. Without education, darkness. It's still national. No, everybody go to school free, talk free, government free.
I have to let you go. We can't really hear you, and it's unfortunate that our time is fast spent, so we have to hurry on the show and go. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
I want to just add a little bit that those what we are saying about that 26% we are calling is for the education generally. Not only for the ASU kind of a thing. And if 26% is allocated, it will now be spread across board, all
primary, secondary, and then tertiary.
And then we'll be able to fund the education properly. That's what we are saying. And government should do the needful.
All right, thank you. I was going to make that clarification too, but then I saw you smiling. So for people who think that we're saying that the federal government should give 25 or 26% to ASU, no, that's not what we're saying. That is not what UNESCO said. UNESCO said the nation should budget 26% at least for education alone. But then, like this person said, there are lots of things to consider. Yes. But then we hope and pray that the government finds a way to figure it out. And I've not been alone in the studio. Of course, you know that I have an analyst in the house, and the analyst is no other person but a very, very knowledgeable person, Dr. Hadi Mashood, a public affairs analyst and director, General Studies, Kwara State College of Education, Ilorin. Thank you so much for coming on the show this morning doing the DBS with me. I am Tobi Adebisi, and I want you to have an amazing day. Come 2023, go out there. I will also go out there to vote and keep hoping that we get it right one day. Have yourself an amazing day. Compliments of the season.
To everybody.